Hiya. Welcome back to NBA Tips 1. I'd like to take you through another potential angle that I found. If we look here at the quarter one scores so far this year, what we can see is we can see Miami faring not as well as we once would think. So if you have a look here, what we've got is we've got Miami at 1.2 deficit in the first quarter, which is surprising considering the strength of depth they have in their starting five. And usually the last 3 or 4 minutes is when Ray Allen, Shane Battier, and perhaps Chris Anderson come on, who are certainly very strong replacements off the bench. So this minus 1.2 is a little bit, misleading perhaps so early on in the season. But myself and Dave have noticed that over the last year or so, Miami do tend to start games quite slowly. And this is really just about psychology. When you are the best team in the NBA and you are back-to-back champions, you probably think you can get away with starting slow and then recovering through the rest of the game. So if we then look at the average scoring margin at the end of the game, so far this year, you can see that Miami are plus 6.6. So they're winning games pretty comfortably on average, yet they're after one quarter, they are losing it. Now, if you look at the sample size, they still are winning the first quarter, but this is only by 1.6. So that is perhaps a concern for them. And if you look at now 2012 overall, you now have plus 7.6. So they're still beating teams more convincingly than they were in quarter one, and that's over a larger sample size. If we go back, perhaps the biggest angle that I've spotted so far, again, very small sample size, but this is quite a noticeable difference. If you look, you've got Miami here, 10 points down on average in the first quarter on the road, which is a huge margin, especially for the best team in the NBA. If you then look at their overall, they are just about winning games on the road at plus 1.3, but obviously compare that to the minus 10, that is a significant difference. So again, another angle here that we had a hunch for, and when looking at the stats, it really does back that up. So again, we're thinking of two angles to use. Angle number one is the straight back of another team, maybe on the money line or on the spread in quarter one. The other angle is an in-play angle where we could trade and lay Miami before the tip. Usually they start very short. Even on the road, they're sub-evens most of the time. And then hopefully when they are 4-5, maybe even more points down at the end of quarter one, we look to back them going into the quarter two. So hopefully you found this useful, and more to follow.